Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us, and us being sovereign ground, we're not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you gonna draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings. You can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up to the minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's worldwide, at David G. Evans 1. You can see us. If you're in a place where you are not allowed video at this moment, maybe you're at work or something like that, or in your car, you can listen to us wherever you are in the world. We're so glad that you joined us today. As always, we would love to hear from you regarding the topics that are related to culture and related to politics and related to sports and related to religion, of course. So we always want to have those conversations, but always from a kingdom point of view, which means we have not only one of the most intelligent talk show audiences in the world, but we also have one of the most reverent talk show audiences in the world. And we're so glad you took the time to join us. You can give us a call at 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. We invite you to give us a call. Let's talk. Of course, joining me once again is our world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Always remember now when you send him a call, put the A in there. Nicholas A. Smith. You know, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
All right.
A few things.
Been a couple good weeks and very trying weeks, but you know.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to get stuck on a topic today, and of course we're always flexible to those topics that
Sure.
our callers calling about. I am. I don't know if offended is too strong a word. I'm offended that we are still voting on people's rights to vote in the United States of America.
Absolutely.
I am appalled repeatedly by the fact that there are politicians who represent people around the country who literally voting against accessibility.
Yep.
But here's the problem. The Republicans that are voting against this thing are slow learners. Number one, I don't think the president's going to let this go without a federal law being passed and then canceling all those laws out. Number two, how do you I heard some stuff yesterday. Now, we're pro-life on this program, but what state was it? Tennessee passed a law yesterday,
Okay.
or has one on the table, where if a man rapes a woman and she does not want the child,
Yeah, I heard about that.
she can't make the decision. It's up to him to tell her after he raped her whether she can have the baby or not.
I remember reading about that.
Had to be a man made that.
That is the most insensitive,
It has to be a man.
horrific.
Has
Yeah,
to be,
yeah, of course.
Had to be a man.
course.
No woman did that.
Right.
I don't think.
I hope not.
You know, but I find it just amazing that, you know, they're doing things to discourage people from voting. I mean, everything they did during the last election, closing polling stations, moving those polling stations an hour away from people's homes. In one city down south, I think it was Columbia, they burned the rural post office down so the people wouldn't have a place to vote. Moving the boxes that you can't, you know, vote, and like if you work a night job and you got to put the thing in on your way home from work, you know, you can't do that.
Yep.
I mean, the plethora of things that are being legislated by people simply because they want to keep power and want to choose our officials rather than allow us to vote for them
Yep.
is it's appalling to me, and I don't understand why would you want to go down in history as being, but I'm answering my own question. All of a sudden, my Republican friends are asking for sensitivity and fairness. And I've been reminding my Republican friends that for the past 12 years, you've not been interested in fairness
Not
at all.
Not at all.
But all of a sudden now, you know, this is bad for the country if you push this through. They've been jacking stuff for the last 12 years.
Yep.
And when I remind them of that, you know, they literally have nothing to say. Because it's as though they expect you to react as though nothing has happened up to this point. And that's how they're treating it.
Yep. I'd much rather to be honest and say, look, we were in charge. We wanted some stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
I support that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all in charge. I don't want to support it. I don't want y'all push. Just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Just be honest rather than saying
They
y'all
can't.
shouldn't do that.
They
Just
can't. They can't act as though this is the worst possible thing that could have ever happened, then start using word like obstructionist. What did they use for themselves?
Right.
How did they describe themselves?
what was the American people wanted, and this is what we're
Okay,
going to do.
what American people were they talking about? Because
Yeah.
that's another term that offends me.
Yeah.
The American people,
Mm-hmm.
because I realize they're not talking about all of us.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But they, I was talking to a conservative, and his thing was, well, they're not taking away people's right to vote. Everybody has a right to vote. They're just changing up how people vote. And I said, but it's unique. I was like, you're right. They're not taking away the ability to vote,
Mm-hmm.
but you're taking away accessibility, and you're only gearing it towards one crowd.
Mm-hmm. What'd he say?
I'm gonna research it and look through it.
You had to research that.
But come on now,
You had to research that.
bringing water to somebody
Come on, man.
is illegal. Like, seriously?
Next thing they're going to say, you can't carry water.
Mhm. Mhm.
But they're slow learners. It's going to backfire on them
Yep.
in the worst way. Because what they're doing is impacting some of the people that vote for them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And this gun legislation thing has really gotten on my nerves. It's as though common sense has fled our political leaders.
Yep.
And what it has revealed, I think they need to take "our thoughts and prayers are with you" out of their mouths. I think they need to take the word compassion and get rid of it, because compassion is not an actionless word. It's
Yep.
like love and those concern. Concern is shown, not spoken.
Right.
Compassion is shown, not just spoken. Love is shown, not just spoken. So, I'm tired of hearing them talk about this whole "our thoughts and prayers are with you," and then they just turn the page
Yep.
on multiple people being killed. And I used to think it was just us. They don't even care if their children get shot up.
Nope. See, you said it. Sandy Hook was the thing.
I thought that was going to
Yeah.
turn the page, man. I've been saying it since that. When they didn't react then,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay,
Yep.
if elementary school kids didn't do it,
Yep.
and when it happened in Florida with the high school or junior high,
Mhm.
everybody's screaming, I'm like,
Dang.
Sandy Hook,
Yep. Not gonna do it.
not going to do it.
So you spent all this time trying to restrict the access of people to vote,
Mm-hmm.
but you won't restrict the access of people to
Get guns.
Get guns. Now, and we brought it up. It's not that people can't get guns. It's just you're changing the process of how they get guns. How come you can't see both?
You should be able, a law-abiding citizen should not mind rules, have a problem with rules, that want a complete background check on an individual that's going to have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So, is some of this trepidation that if some people presently with guns get background checks, they'll have their licenses taken away?
Probably. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I didn't think of that until
Yeah.
just now.
Yeah. And the guy that shot the place in Colorado, I believe he bought the guns the day of the shooting.
No, it was he applied for it like 5 days before it got and actually picked it up
The day of.
day or two. And it says all it was an AR-16 with the barrel cut off and the butt cut off.
Yeah.
He said, but it's, he said, if it look like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. It's an AR-16.
Yeah.
But it's modified, and
Yeah.
they sell it as a legal gun.
Yeah. It is still the same thing.
It's a deadly weapon. They use it at war.
Yeah. I know. That's my thing. Like,
it's a war weapon.
Why do you need a flamethrower? Like, really? That you have a right to have a flamethrower? And like,
For what reason? You like it?
Right.
That's the way you set the fire in your fireplace?
well, I
You sit back.
I saw this guy, and he was in one of the northern states. He had a flamethrower.
Okay.
When it snowed real heavy,
Yeah.
he went out to his driveway.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But why do you don't really need that to protect yourself. Somebody shooting you, you're not going to grab your flamethrower in your house.
Well, they use them at war.
If an intruder comes in.
They use them at war.
Well, at war, yes. I'm talking about at home, like a
Yeah, but
civilian.
you're not going to burn down your own house.
Yeah, you're going to pick up a quick gun and shoot back.
Yeah, and I'm pro-gun, but I'm pro-responsibility.
Absolutely.
It's just, it just seems so common sense to me. That's why perhaps it's so infuriating that we would be in a situation where people are repeatedly getting killed. And I heard there were 85 mass shootings in the country this year.
And when it happened, I said, I now know the country's opening back up again because we're going back to normal with all these shootings, all these things going on. Because remember,
I know
the past couple years was like every other month.
I know something. Almost, it seemed like every other week.
Yeah, it was just a nonstop story.
And then I'm not sure if we were getting all the news at that point.
Yeah.
They were doing the major shootings, but I'm sure there were some minor things going on too. But you got, but then you have police taking taking the shooter to get something to eat on their way to the police station. What kind of foolishness is that?
Mm-hmm. So you show us you can practice restraint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or we had to do this. Oh, but here you showed us you actually can.
Yeah. That's
do it the right way.
Who determines what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because right, what they said, right? That young boy that got killed, Elijah McClain, I think.
Yeah.
Was in Boulder too. Right around where the shooting took place. I mean, you couldn't. I don't know.
I understand that the right to bear arms is constitutional.
Yep.
But I think we're not talking about a political situation now. We're talking about a human rights, human life preservation, safety issue. There are plenty of gun owners that have weapons that are quite sound.
Absolutely.
What we're trying to do is keep it out of the hands of those that are very challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell me that guy goes in and shoots up some Asian people, 8 or 9 Asian people, and the police chief can't stand up and say this kid had a bad day.
Right.
I was watching it on TV, and you know how you're watching something and it's like, he didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at television like, he didn't say that. Because I'm like, wait a minute, did he say he had a bad day? So I started looking for it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he said he had a bad day.
They always have to find a reason.
It was amazing to me.
And that's my thing. Well, they were radicalized. They fatherless home, poor. What do you think goes on in the hood? Why is this one a reason, but you don't accept this reason over here? It grinds my gears.
So the perpetuation of the lie that the election was rigged. Now, here, let's. I don't know a national election that does not have irregularities.
Sure.
And that's on both sides, Democrat, Republican, Independent. It's impossible to do. The reality is, there wasn't 7 million of them. Okay, so you find 1 in Georgia, 3 in Idaho, 4 somewhere else. That's, you got, I'll give you 12.
Yeah.
That's not the whole election.
Not at all.
But what they're trying to hinge it on is a lie that if it happened 3 or 4 times, and half the time it was one of their people.
That's what I'm saying. It was people voting for Trump.
Voting for Trump that were dead.
Mm-hmm. Voted twice for
Yeah, I mean, come on. Okay, let's say you found 100 votes nationwide.
Yeah.
That is not widespread voter fraud when 80 some odd million people vote.
Absolutely. It's crazy. And I think it was the PA, the guy voted twice. Somebody voted for his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all for Trump.
Yeah.
But again, y'all silent about that, which again, it's all about power. It's about the money.
But still, 3 would not have made the difference in Pennsylvania, and it certainly would have made the difference nationally.
Yeah. They do the slippery slope.
I ain't no darn slip. I almost said something.
The slippery slope argument only works conveniently for them when they wanted to.
I was in a board meeting, and I happened to be the chair of that particular board, and I brought up some action that we needed to take that was not going to be popular, but everybody knew the wisdom of the decision. And one of the politicians on the board started talking to me about this is a slippery slope. And I said, let me clear something up for this body from here on out. It is only a slippery slope if you have no control, you have no wisdom, and you allow it to repeat itself.
Yep.
Is this a decision that we would want to have to make over and over again? He didn't come to 3 meetings after that. Slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope if you allow it to be.
Absolutely. Not one decision always does have a huge domino effect.
It does not.
Yeah.
Not if you're sitting up there with common sense and ability to make a decision.
Absolutely.
a slippery slope. I got so upset. Oh.
But it's usually only said when it's something they don't want. I'd much
Absolutely.
rather you say, I just don't want to do this.
Absolutely.
Rather
Don't give me the slippery slope stuff.
than, yeah,
Like, if we make this decision, we got to make another one just like it. No, you don't do that.
right.
You know, come
Yeah.
on.
Obviously, you all considered the consequences didn't outweigh the benefits.
Yeah. Political scene has become so convoluted to me that I think that the voters have not exacted enough retribution as it relates to voting people in and voting people out, to scare these politicians into thinking, if you don't work for me while you're there, you're not going to be there, on my behalf.
Yeah.
But you brought it up before, the American public appears to be trying to give the impression that we have no intelligence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We appear to try to give that impression to our political leaders. We have no intelligence, we have no memory, we have no foresight, we have no rational ability. We give them the impression because they say one thing, videotape. Now, it used to be, before we had all the social media, they could say something and deny it.
Yep.
But you can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. You can't. Self-interest and self-preservation will always outweigh the common good when it comes to selfish people. It's just, and that's
Wow.
Even the voter does that.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to put up with all this crap as long as you maintain these one or two things I desire. That one guy that spoke volumes. He said, "Yo, I'll vote for Trump. I know steel is going out of business.
Mhm.
I know I lost my job.
Yeah.
But if Trump makes those black guys stop kneeling at the NFL games, he will continue to have my vote."
I wonder if he still feels the same way now. I remember,
spoke volumes.
and some of our listeners will remember this. I know you do, Pastor Nick. I remember when a guy called years ago when the national health care first came into place, and called, and it was the worst thing possible. And then about 4 or 5 months later, he called and said, "I needed to call you back and apologize." I said, "Well, what'd you do?" He said, "I really gave you guys a rough time over what they were calling Obamacare at the time." He said, "And then I lost my job."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "And their national health plan was the only thing got my family through."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You tried to tell me that we have to think of other people."
Yep.
I've had health care as long as I can remember.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to vote against you getting it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which is why, to me, the opposition in politics to health care doesn't make sense to me. If you have the best health care in the world,
Yep.
how can you tell me I shouldn't have it also?
Absolutely.
That's insane to me.
It is insane. And those people, like those rural America people,
Mhm.
where there are hospitals far away from them,
Crazy.
what they didn't realize was Obamacare allowed all these urgent cares,
Mhm.
patient first centers pop
Yeah.
up. That's why we saw them pop up so quick. Because
Okay.
a part of that was part of Obamacare.
Okay.
So when their hospital's 20 miles away, you got an urgent care 5 miles away.
Mhm.
You can go there, get your x-rays done, and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Save money on it rather
Yeah.
than going to the emergency room.
Right.
But again, they didn't consider that because it was the who. It's because who did it?
Hmm. I have a pastor in rural Arkansas who says it takes the ambulance 35 minutes to get to the house, and the ambulance is driving breakneck speed on an empty road to get there.
Yep.
35 minutes to
Mm-hmm.
and 35 minutes back.
Yep. You're in,
Serious trouble.
yeah. My grandma, same thing.
Okay.
Out the boonies, just
How can you legislate against health care that's going to help people?
mhm.
And our hospitals are not that far away. Matter of fact, we sit within 10 minutes of 3 hospitals?
Yeah, 3 hospitals and like maybe 4 or 5 urgent cares within like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, so the way America's working now is I have all this access, but I'm not gonna vote for you to get
Yeah,
access.
yo,
That's just
yeah,
silly.
yeah.
Let's talk to Jay. Hey Jay, how you doing this morning, man? Welcome to On Point.
Good morning, brothers. How are you?
Morning.
We're doing all right, man.
two things lead to a bigger thing. You just started kind of talking about health care.
Yeah.
I think the Affordable Care Act saved my life.
Okay.
I'm a diabetic,
Okay.
and pre-Affordable Care Act, I'm not even going to tell you how much I paid for insulin.
Well, yeah. Out of this world.
How much I paid in insurance premiums
Wow.
to what I pay now. I mean, the difference is probably a 600% reduction.
Jeez.
Whew.
Golly.
Whew.
Jeez.
in what I pay in insurance premiums now
Wow.
compared to what I paid before the Affordable Care Act. So those who would, and I was in the military, so I know about having access to the best health care
Right.
in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and how even some of my political colleagues, and you guys know my whole story on that, but can legislate against what they're getting. It's unconscionable.
It's unbelievable, man.
Yep.
It's unconscionable. They get the best health care for free.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
For
it's
free.
it's an employee benefit.
For free.
Yeah, man.
So
Yet they vote. You don't need it, and we're going to vote to have people lose it.
yeah. It's insane. It's insane.
On that note, Jay, I remember I was out of work a long time ago, and they offered me Cobra as an alternative.
No, let's not talk about cool.
And 20. Let me see. How it's 30 years past then. This is 40 years ago, and Cobra was $1,200 a month.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
$1,200 a month, man.
They said, oh,
Jeez.
it was when I left a certain place, oh, you're going to get Cobra. And I'm like, all right, good, I'm staying on my health insurance. The premium came,
Doc,
I became like Fred Sanford and ready to have a heart attack.
I know, man.
Listen, I'm coming.
It was crazy.
Jeez.
But you talked about gun control.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Have you guys ever looked at the history of the NRA?
I
No.
haven't read too much into
No, I haven't read too much of it.
Always against taking guns and having normal kind of gun laws in this country.
They weren't?
About education and training and equipping people on how to properly handle guns.
Okay.
And it wasn't until the 60s, and to even put it, Ronald Reagan was the first president that the NRA even endorsed in their entire 100 and some odd year history, because there was a shift in their politics in the 1960s.
Well, that makes sense because Reagan was the one that started using encoded words about states' rights and whatnot, which is something that the southern states felt like they lost because of the anti-segregation laws that went in place. They felt like they lost that, and Reagan went down south and won the South votes by encoding. I'm for you guys having what you want, basically, and but he's regaled as this amazing individual.
Yeah, it's interesting, and the fact that we have all of these mass shootings. I mean, look at the gun violence going on in Philadelphia.
It's unbelievable.
We don't see a need.
Yeah, Philly's getting off the hook, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think Philly had 110 shootings, I think, in this year alone, I think, or the past couple of
More
years.
than that.
Yeah.
Between them and Chicago, man, I don't. It's. I remember doing a revival in Philly and Chicago, and normally, what I remember about revivals is people getting saved.
Yeah.
What I remember about those two revivals are the gunshots that were going on outside the building as I was in there preaching. That's what I remember.
Yeah. So y'all don't worry about that. Just
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, had to bring the crowd back into the message. Y'all don't worry about that now. Come on, let's go. I was in Chicago, and the weekend I was in Chicago, they said 32 people had been shot.
wow. Yeah.
You know, and there was at least 3 incidences around the church when I was there in Chicago.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
You know, so it was like, I'm trying to ask Pastor later, you know, is this like, he said, oh yeah, this is all time.
Yeah, this is normal. That's crazy.
So my last topic here, and this is, I pose this question to you.
Okay.
A lot of my pastor friends walk back. Oh, I can't answer that, Jay. I can't get involved in that. When I pose this question, several weeks ago, Dr. Henry Louis Gates did a documentary on the black church.
Did you watch it?
I tried. Come on, Jay. Come on. I tried.
Has the black church collectively lost its effectiveness?
The answer is no, and the answer is that Mr. What was his name that did
Henry Louis Gates.
Henry Louis Gates. That is not the black church now. The part I saw, as much as I could stand, was the hold on. You'll understand it better by and by type of church.
Yeah.
That's not the church now.
Yeah.
So if he had shown the evolution of the church and its political involvement and its community involvement and the shift of the gospel, the prosperity of the people shifting, the liberation element in the gospel to the point of action and fruit of that action, I think it would have been a better picture. But the church that he showed is the church of my grandmother, who died at 100 years old. And that church has grown since then. So no, I think what happens is they throw a blanket over all of us.
Yep.
And in any setting, there are effective and ineffective corporate entities.
Yep.
Just like in anything else, all African American led churches are not effective. And many African American churches are very effective.
Absolutely.
Both socially, religiously, politically, community. So I think there's just some guys don't want to touch it, but the fact is, no, it has not become ineffective as a whole because too many of us are doing good work.
Yeah. It's just different now. Like he says, the time frame is different.
Yeah.
And some people want to go back to the church of the 60s and 50s. It's 2021.
He won't put no more than you can bear. Oh, yes, he will.
Yes, he will. Yeah. Like celebrate where we came from.
Oh, yes, he will. He specializes in that.
Yeah. The part I saw, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched maybe like a 10-minute part of it.
Okay.
Was he was trying to bring in, it seemed like the message was of over inclusion.
Over inclusion, okay.
Yes. The black church has always been welcoming of everybody.
Which it should be.
Which it should be. No matter what you look like, your gender, your sexual preference, whatever. We've always been the place where everybody can
Absolutely.
come to. And, but we still have our standards, we still have our beliefs and stuff. And he brought up the reality of some things, but I don't think it really went as far as the progression, as you said.
Yeah. You can't be an ark and start picking who's going to come in the door.
Right. Yep.
You can't be. I mean, the strongest evangelical illustration in the Bible, except for Jesus winning people, is that Noah's Ark.
Yep.
Two of every kind coming in, being transformed by the presence and the Spirit of God and the breath of God. You can't get any more evangelical than that.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it from that perspective.
So it's just I think he presented a film whose foundation was his interaction and his generational understanding of the church, which showed me that perhaps his generational understanding of church had not morphed, had not grown.
Yeah.
Because it looked like I was looking at the church that I grew up in as a boy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Sid said she watched the whole thing. She felt like the intended audience wasn't for black people. It was educating another crowd.
Well, then he miseducated them.
Yeah.
Because they needed to see what was happening now.
Yep.
The images I saw were the images that I saw when it was advertised and when it was some of the film clips. Always retrospective back to an era that we have grown far from.
Yep. Yep.
We're no longer just the struggling church waiting for Jesus to come.
So in your opinion, what is the state of the collective black church today?
The collective, and I have to speak from the context that we're in.
Yep.
Pastor Nick can talk about the context that from his age and my age, from his perspective, my perspective. My contemporaries my contemporaries are all about action, activity,
Yep.
souls winning, communities changing, regions impacting, feeding, clothing, housing, the stuff Jesus wanted us to do.
Yeah.
Those are my contemporaries. The guys that are not doing that, still shucking and jiving, hustling, I don't know those guys. They're in like any organization. I'm calling it the national church. The national black church has both productive contemporaries and those that are stuck in tradition. Those that are progressive and those that are stuck in tradition. Those that believe the whole Bibles, those that believe some of the Bible. I mean, we're not monolithic as a church.
Yep.
We're not. But as far as I know, effective, souls winning, lives changing, futures impacted, young people, old people, millennials, all that's covered. The people that I know, and I know a fair number of people.
Yeah. Yep. I think we have a tendency to romanticize the past.
Yep.
And it seems like they want to get back to the Martin Luther King time frame when there was only one. And look at the history of the black church.
Okay.
You had great people like from Frederick Douglass, W. Boy, all those people, Marcus Garvey. There was only, you see a few of those people have such a national reach. And then we forget about the fact that when the King was alive, there were a lot of black churches that didn't agree with the way he was going.
They didn't like him up north.
There was this false, we were all together back then when it was not true.
We're not a monolith, not
Yeah.
as a culture, nor as a church.
Yep. Never.
But look at all the other segments. We are the only ones that are expected to be a monolith.
Thank you. Everybody else can have their own thing. Just,
And we do it to ourselves.
yep. Yep.
So the black church has to be considered in its entirety, not just by a segment of it.
Yep.
But most people look at the segment that's non-productive and label that the black church.
Yep. Yep. It's like Chicago.
Yeah.
All black people live in Chicago, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Whenever you reference the black culture, it's always, what about Chicago? Like, we all live there.
Did I answer your question? Did I fall back from your question, Jay?
That was really the answer I was looking for.
Okay.
And I just thought, all the people's Facebook friends and social media friends and who are pastors in the church around the country. Oh, Jay, I can't talk to you about that. No.
Why not?
And I kept saying, shouldn't we still be about debate and discourse?
I think we should be about conversation and dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think our own history, Jay, is like this. You may not know it. Our own history is this. 30 years ago, we took over a very traditional, unspirited church. 30 years later, it looks nothing like it did back then. It started to rapidly change the first year.
Yep.
With that change, anytime you have motion, you have friction. So we have people that wanted to hold on to, they wanted to celebrate a lack of progress. And I was not content with that. So, and then God started sending people to the church that would not be content with that. So God sent the next generation before they were prepared to be a part. It was my job to get them ready for the next generation. So if our composite is we grew from challenged traditional to responsive culturally, religiously, spiritually. And that's just growth. That's all it is.
Yep.
But a lot of us are challenged by our own tradition. What I mean by that is that, some people think their neighborhood is the rest of the world.
Yeah.
If it's like that in your neighborhood, it's like that in the rest of the world. But no. You have to be, if you're serving God, you've got to be bold enough and have enough faith to believe in a God that believes and moves you from one dimension of progression to another. He's a dimensional shifting God. And what he tries to do is prepare people before he shifts them.
Yep.
Now, if he doesn't do that, then he has to shift you, and you spend a longer period in that place where you should be transitioning from just so he can put the meat on your bones and strengthen your body and faith in him to handle the next dimension of where he's going to take you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to start preaching at you, Jay.
Yes, you did.
Let me start preaching at you.
What you do. Brothers, I'm going to go soak up some of this sun,
All right, man.
Bless you, brother.
but have a good weekend.
Have a good day.
And I'm sure I'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you now. Bye-bye. Danny, and then we got Robin. 866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. You can give us a call. We're going to Danny on line 3. Hey, Dan.
Daddy.
Bishop, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you? Thanks for calling us today.
Very good. Pastor Nick,
Sir.
staff, how's everyone doing today?
Doing good, man.
I see the weather is good up there.
It's actually nice out.
Yeah, it's doing all right. I mean, it's not hot. It's not hot, but it ain't cold.
Look, we ain't crazy. I still got my jacket with me.
No, Doc, my jacket's down in the office. Mm-mm. And I'll have it in my hand for the rest of the year. They
I
can
know
laugh
that's
all they
right.
want.
Yeah, I know that's right. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, ain't bad.
But what I just wanted to touch, and I don't know if you heard about what's going on down here, which is really, to me, it disturbs me very much so. And what happened in South Florida in particular is with the spring break.
Yeah,
You had, first
irresponsible.
of all, the laws that should have been in place and
Mhm.
laws that are in place
Yeah.
were not being observed.
And what are those laws?
Okay, is as far as wearing of masks,
Okay,
social distancing,
okay.
and doing things that are responsible and respecting the next person.
I didn't see any of that in the news clips that I saw.
Exactly. And if you remember now, I spoke of this weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see things that were happening and what have you. Now, when the coming up to the spring break, which is the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
if you notice after the Super Bowl, the celebrating that was going on after the Super Bowl, we saw the same thing.
Absolutely.
All right, we saw the governor not respecting social distancing, high five, no mask. And
Is it possible? Is it possible he had a vaccine back in January, like the other people with money?
I think he had it long before then. The way
Okay.
that he was carrying on and the things that he was doing.
But he wouldn't tell his people that he had one.
Exactly. Now, what happened is that when the national news media, when they were showing what was going on on South Beach,
Mm-hmm.
they presented it as being people of color that was unruly in carrying on.
No, it wasn't.
Right.
I mean,
That's the-
you can see it on the news. No, it wasn't.
hmm But that's it gets good. The mayor of Miami Beach, now he wants to he's forced to put in these laws where they're putting on a curfew at 8 o'clock, where everything shuts down.
Okay.
The problem is that you knew and you were warned before these events were taking place that the laws, the rules needed to be put into place. But
Okay.
here's where money takes precedence over lives.
Okay.
You go ahead and you sell rooms not at 25% capacity, not 50% capacity, but full capacity. You're packing out all of your hotels.
I heard the rates were very, very low, and they're never low in Miami.
Exactly.
But then again, I heard that they were charging like $99 for round trip to Florida
You hit
on the
nail
plane,
the head.
and they put the middle rows back in.
You see it. You
People,
see it.
people were so crazy about going down there, like to the All-Star game and
Yeah.
to Miami. They were renting U-Haul trucks and sleeping in the U-Haul trucks just so they can go out and party.
What?
I lie to you not. They were renting U-Haul trucks and setting
Yes,
up like
yes.
cots or whatever in the back of it, and that's where they slept. You got a party that bad?
How did they tend to their hygiene?
I guess they went to either some gyms or somewhere or cleans. I don't. But
Unbelievable.
y'all need a party that bad? Really?
I mean, the roads packed in order to get over on the causeways. You had to wait 2, 3, 4 hours just to get there.
Well, I've been to Miami, and we were driving years and years ago, and the traffic downtown at night on a Friday or Thursday night during the summer is absolutely unbelievable. It's almost like back in the day when you would have like processions of cars because you wanted to show off your car.
Yeah.
That's how slow the traffic is moving.
Yeah. Okay.
And then crowds are spilling out of all the businesses.
Yeah.
And you had people, business people, community representatives, and what have you. They were asking the question, what are you gonna do for spring break? You know that the governor is saying that everything is okay.
Wow.
Come to Florida.
So the business people have made a decision. We want the money, and we'll worry about the pandemic and get our employees sick, and we'll worry about all that stuff later. Or they're not worried about it at all.
This is where it gets good. Okay, they're not really concerned about the people. They're concerned about the dollars.
Yep.
Okay, the governor has not opened up his mouth. He has not said a word. We have not seen or heard of him until this week. And you know what he's saying this week?
What's that?
Let's get the cruise ships going again.
So you can bring more business to the city?
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you.
Okay, now,
And now
is it I got a question for you, Pastor Nick. I need you to answer this. Is it going to take another shutdown for Texas, Florida, Alabama, New Jersey, and New York? Is it going to take another shutdown for people to learn their lessons about this stuff?
Bishop, I'm not sure if they're going to shut stuff down now.
If they don't, we're going to have this thing on out into the future.
Well, they are, because I was talking to one of our nurses that works at a hospital close to us.
Yeah.
The people coming in for COVID are going back up. It was down for a while.
Yeah, it's going back up.
It's climbing back up.
It would.
The governor of Florida is saying, "Yo, we're going to try to get everybody vaccinated by May." Now he's pushing it
Here's the problem.
because he want all that money to come back in.
I don't know if you saw a panel the other night, Danny.
Yes.
The problem is that the variants are now infecting people,
That's correct.
and they don't have enough data yet to know how well covered we're going to be for the variants. And people are not helping this because every time it spreads, it potentially morphs into something else. So the Miami situation with all those people around, if you look at each of those individuals as a laboratory, and some of them catch COVID, it morphs in that laboratory before it passes on to someone else. So it's really, if they don't do, it's embarrassing to me that New Zealand can now have football games and everything, and we've got an issue.
Yep.
It's embarrassing to me.
Yep.
And one more thing, and then I'll get off, is that what he has done is that they're moving up the dates as far as the age limits for getting the vaccine, because according to him, we have a vaccine now. So what are you worried about?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you worried about?
Next week they're going to drop the age limit down to 21.
That's the thing. They keep thinking the vaccine is going to be complete protection. Like, it's not built like that.
You get flu shots, you still catch the flu. I mean, it's just simple.
Like, come on, y'all. But
Okay, Dan, how my sister doing?
She's doing very well. In fact, she's tremendous.
I didn't ask her how blessed she is to be married to you. I asked her how she was doing. Tell my sister I'm praying for her mightily.
And we appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Talk to you soon now.
All right.
Bye-bye. Stay safe. Oh, boy. 1 minute Robin.
I'm in Robin.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Robin.
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick.
How are
Hey,
you?
everyone.
She's been very charming this morning. She's been very charming.
She's got a lot of questions.
Oh, she's been very charming.
You know what? No, I'm going to behave.
Okay.
But I just want
We've
to
never seen that happen, but go ahead.
All right, y'all. My Facebook family, y'all got my back, right?
Nope.
No.
But Bishop, first I want to say thank you and Pastor Nick for y'all's teaching on, I can't think of the scripture, have joy in tribulation. I got tested for COVID Tuesday, I think it was, Tuesday, and it came back positive.
Mm-hmm.
But they want me to do another one because it could be a false positive.
Okay.
Because I went through the Rite Aid drive-through, and they give you the swab to do in
You
your
did it
nose.
yourself?
Hmm?
You did it yourself?
Right.
Come on,
so
Rob.
this is what I think I did wrong. The pharmacist says, put up your nose,
Mhm.
wait 15 seconds, and put it up the other nostril. I forgot about the 15 seconds.
Jesus.
Lord
So they
have
want me-
mercy.
So I have to do another one.
Okay.
You need the real one that goes back in there. I know it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, you got to get
I
in.
did. I put it back up there.
No,
My nose
them
like,
do
"Oh."
it for you.
No, they got to do it for you, Rob, because
Yeah, I'ma
you're not
find
gonna do
out.
you're not gonna do yourself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Monday to one.
Yeah.
They'll do it.
Where
So
you
I'm
feel in your
sure.
brain. Yeah, that's
How are you feeling?
I'm good because they was asking have any symptoms. No, so I'm
But
like,
you-
you know what's going on, Bishop?
You could be asymptomatic, but you make sure you go get tested again.
Yep.
Yeah. How can I find out if I am asymptomatic?
Well, they'll say it'll be positive, but you won't have a cold, you won't have a cough, you won't have a fever.
Oh, okay. So I have to get tested a lot. Then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But you know, you always said when your breakthrough is coming,
Mhm.
that's when things start taking place.
Make sure you break through to that doctor and get
I know
tested.
that's right. I know that's right. Right.
Just make sure, and keep
Right. But
keep
I
yourself
also
isolated
want
until
your
you do.
permission
Yep.
To talk about a subject that I love,
What's that?
football.
Okay, what's going on? Football in the
Well, I
in the
wanted
middle
to
of
ask
March
Pastor
Madness.
Nick and you,
Yeah.
what do y'all feel since the draft is coming up? You know, and I saw where the Eagles are passing up to get number 12.
No, they
pick.
traded back to the 12th pick, which I'm fine with. 'Cause they got another pick for next year, so they probably won't
Okay.
blow it anyway.
Who are they trying to get this time?
I don't know who they're trying to get.
Do we have a quarterback?
Yeah, young guy. He's came in. He replaced Wentz last year. They're going to see what he does this year. And if he
What
works
happened to
out,
the What happened to the young African American guy?
that's him.
Okay.
Hurts.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah,
Okay.
And then we got the backup from the Vikings. What's his name?
No, Joe Flacco. He's with the Ravens.
The Ravens. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a rebuilding year. I think they're trying to rebuild this year for going forward.
Who's going to be the coach?
This guy's he was with the Colts. He's one of the assistants from the Colts last
Okay,
year.
okay,
He's coming over. New guy.
okay.
You know,
Might bring fresh face, fresh ideas, and
we'll see.
some new enthusiasm if they let him coach.
Yeah. What that's one of the but
And they play the players. I think one of the problems is you draft a guy, and then you draft him to convert him. You got to put people in the
Yeah.
positions where they're the strongest,
Yep.
and then mold your attack around their strengths.
Absolutely.
Not we're going to make you this now that you're here, and then be
Absolutely.
upset because it takes a year or two to get him.
absolutely.
That's so
Yep.
true.
It's silly.
And that's why you see him go to another team and explode.
That's right. Because okay, this is what you do well. This is how we're going to
Yep.
play.
Yep. And execs have to realize too across the board. You may know money, you may know cap stuff, but you may not know football.
That's right.
If the coach knows about the football part, let him handle the football part.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you take care of the money, take care of the business stuff, and let it be.
And drafting guys because you like them.
Yeah.
And they
But
can't play.
it's big money, so let's draft the guys that's going to get us the most attention. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are at the place now where they don't need a full stadium to make money off their.
True.
It's
True. They like a full stadium though.
yeah, I mean they like it.
Yeah.
But it's not like
Yeah. Full stadium's nice. All of it. If you own all the concessions and everything,
Oh yeah, no, that part extra. Yeah.
it's pretty nice.
Oh yeah. And the way they're converting these things now, I wouldn't be surprised if years later all these have a dome. All the stadiums have a dome.
Oh, of course.
Because they can do all the concerts.
Of course.
So now their concern is not even
It's
Football.
past football season.
because
Really, if you have a stadium there and the weather's inclement, there's a lot of things that can't be held there.
Mhm.
Concerts and all, you can't have them. I remember when we went to that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And who was Bruno Mars?
Yeah.
It was so cold out there, I couldn't even hear him.
I know, right? It was freezing, yo.
I didn't want to hear him. It was so cold out there,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Well, Bishop, I'm going to let you go, but Bishop, I want to thank you. I came across one of your messages, August 19th, 2018,
Mm.
Hope Restore.
Oh,
I shared that message. I watched it twice. But anybody go to, what I find, I think on YouTube, but it's Hope Restore, August 19th, 2018.
Thank you for that, Robin. I forgot all about
Is that the one with the wall?
Yeah.
Was that the
Yeah,
wall
the one with
behind?
the wall was up.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
with it's got like 32,000
Yeah.
views on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. That message was right on time when I saw it. So I want to
Yep.
thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But y'all have a blessed day. I love you guys.
Take care.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that shameless plug.
Yes.
Talk
Oh,
to-
everybody, we're trying to get Pastor Nick's YouTube through the journey 1,000 subscribers. So please share.
Thank you, Robin.
And share and share and share.
Thank you, Robin.
All right now.
All right.
Bye-bye. 866-743-8267. We got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Now, what's happening tomorrow, Pastor Nick?
Tomorrow's Palm Sunday, our norm.
Okay.
Except 6 o'clock is a Palm Sunday video instead of 10 times better.
Okay.
Because all next week we're going to put out holy videos.
Holy videos?
Yeah, Holy Week videos.
I hope they're all holy.
Holy Week videos, yes. We recorded them already, so
Okay.
we're starting tomorrow night at 6 when we'll drop. And then Monday, Tuesday, I have a video drop at 7, of course, our normal Bible study.
Sure.
7 o'clock. Thursday, we have a video drop. And Friday, Good Friday service at 7.
Okay.
And then a prayer service on Saturday night at 6.
You don't want to miss any of this week. You want to binge us all week long.
Yeah.
Wednesday, are we praying for people's prayer requests
Yes.
on Wednesday?
Wednesday, yep.
And we're doing it again when?
On Saturday.
On Saturday,
Yep.
okay. And we're starting our fast Friday night?
Friday night, yep.
Or
no,
Thursday night.
Thursday night, yep.
Thursday night,
Thursday
12
night,
o'clock. We're starting our fast on Thursday at 12. And we will fast from all solid food through the 11 o'clock worship service
Yep.
on Sunday.
Mhm.
And of course, we're bringing our first fruits offering.
Yep.
Gonna bring God the first fruit on that Sunday or any time in between if you know God moves you to. But Sunday is when we traditionally open the way for people to bring their first fruits to God.
Yeah.
And that is an additional tithe. And then for those that are not positioned to do that, we're asking for a $100 resurrection seed as you're part of that great move of faith.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this Easter season. I like the way you've arranged it for every day. We've got a different theme, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be. We're going to address the disciples' viewpoint of the cross.
Mhm.
That's all week leading up to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Jesus didn't change what he said. He just changed what you believe.
That's right.
And we hope it impacts everybody during this time. So it should be pretty cool.
We still have 3 minutes, so
Yeah.
we got 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
We have our post-service videos. We're live at 9:45 to 10:45 for our discussion. 11 a.m. we're back again with another encounter, our Palm Sunday encounter. And there's a Palm Sunday video at 6
Yep.
o'clock. How long is that video at 6?
That's about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes long?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ? Both. David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ. Let's see what else we got going on here. I think that covers everything.
For the most part, yeah.
Palm Sunday. Going to be an interesting message.
Yeah.
And Easter's going to be more interesting.
I'm sure. Yeah. It's going to be
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's going to be good.
Fortunately, I was able to, I had started writing the message, and then I remembered you had given us a theme.
Yeah.
So I had to stop. But amazingly,
It fit in.
It fit.
It fit in. Yeah. It fit in.
the Lord was with me.
He was. We forgot your elements because
Oh, yeah,
next
that's right.
Sunday is First Sunday too.
That's right.
So we have communion at 6 on Easter.
Okay.
You can pick your elements up next Saturday here at the church from 12 to 5.
Okay.
12 to 5 next Saturday, and then also next Sunday.
Now, where will they get it?
Right to the
outside?
underpass.
Okay, the main entrance?
Yeah, the main entrance. The deacons will pass them, give them out to
Okay,
you.
okay.
They're prepackaged already. And then on Sunday from 12 to 3 if you can't come Saturday.
Okay.
So Saturday 12 to 5, Sunday 12 to 3.
And then
Yep.
we have communion. Now, do we have the, there's no orientation?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna think through that to follow.
And of course, and all our regular classes are happening this week.
Yeah, everything's normal. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just the videos drop.
I think I've got, pastors on Monday?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, Embrace at 7, pastors at 8.
Oh no, this is a fifth Monday, so you might be off.
You think?
We because we only do.
Do
fifth
we have a
Mondays
makeup?
For see that's the,
There might be a makeup.
oh yeah, because might have been from a couple months ago.
Yeah, we might have a makeup.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you once again for making this the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Any smart device at David G. Evans 1. I want you to remember to join us tomorrow for what we believe will be another great inspirational, high-impact, life-changing, for the rest of your life, experience as you encounter the Lord with us. Now, I want you to remember faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.